So I'm here with Liran Tancman from CyActive, right? You pronounce it CyActive, I guess. So it's a company, and I think the first time I heard about was probably, what, a year ago, I think we talked about?
Exactly.
And actually, the ideas that I heard then were, I would say, no, it's between very compelling to a bit crazy, right? Predictive, malware stuff, etc. But it was actually a very intriguing concept to hear about it then. And when I touched base with Liran just again last week, it seems they made just tremendous progress, and it seems like a very promising approach to deal with a malicious code. So, Liran, why don't you tell us kind of a bit about CyActive? What's CyActive all about here?
So, hi everyone. So, CyActive is a predictive security company. We deal both with endpoint and network attacks, and we deploy our technology both on enterprise security and utilities. We'll talk more about it later, but the basic capability is that we can predict future derivatives, the way hackers will evolve their threats and create guards to that. And this goes to our clients.
Okay. So, just before you, there was Justin Wright, CTO of FireEye, and there are plenty of companies dealing with malware in different ways. You guys have very, very unique ways. So what are the specific challenges you guys are dealing with, which other, let's say, malware detection, malware prevention type of companies are not dealing with?
Yeah, so if we look at the... Oh, wait for a second. So when you look at the cybersecurity landscape today, what you see is that on one side you have cybersecurity companies spending a lot of time and money building defenses, and on the other side you have hackers that with a fraction of this time and money constantly evade those security measures. And they are doing that by reusing existing techniques, existing codes, actually take existing attacks and modify them. And this modification today evades pretty much every security measure known. And our approach is, instead of waiting for hackers to evolve their code, to mutate, to change, we are able to proactively fast forward the evolution of attacks against both network and endpoint attacks. So we can take an attack, ask our machines for hundreds of thousands of ways in which it will be evolved, and create a guard, a smart mathematical model for all of those future derivatives. And by doing that, we solve something very fundamental in the industry. So it's no more hackers spending $100 to just modify threats and to evade security measures and doing hundreds of millions of dollars of damage. It is the opposite. Hackers will need to reinvent the entire attack chains, and this is something that has never been done. In every attack chain until today, from Stuxnet to the recent attacks on Target, Neiman Marcus, Home Depot, and now we heard about Staples, all those attacks, you always had some adapted component. Like in every operating system, you have code from previous versions. If you could predict and prevent this kind of reuse, then you would completely rebalance the economics of the industry and pretty much put hackers out of business. Okay,
so Liran, so I understand that, again, technology is especially good to deal with hundreds or thousands of variations that are following the first introduction of a malware. Can your technology also help in the first introduction, or it's typically bring the value for the mutations along the way?
Yeah, so I would say that the place where our technology won't work, if it's something completely new, built from scratch. If you look on a single malware perspective, you will see that only a fraction of a percentage is really built from scratch. If you look on the entire attack chain, from intelligence gathering, exploitation, backdoors, etc., you won't find even one attack that did not reuse at least one component. And once it is done, then we are valuable and we can extract this information to get other stages of the attack back to the system.
So again, kind of predicting or guessing, let's say, type of malware that's very out of the box thinking. How do you guys do that?
So we're using some kind of evolutionary computation approach. So just the same way that in nature evolution, you can, if you can understand how evolution works, you could predict, humans out of worms. The same idea works for.
Not everyone can predict that.
Yeah, but if you understand the constraints of hackers and what are the considerations and what is the optimization function that they are trying to realize, then you can get some good ideas about where it can go. And if you can get those good ideas, you can generalize and build a model and do it before they do so.
And Liran, a company started what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, so we were seeded by JVP a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, so what was the experience? So, and I understand you are launching soon, probably that will be my last question, right? What's next for you guys? But what kind of field tests have you done? I mean, what's the success rate of detection of the mutations of malware, etc.?
Sure. So I will give you two examples. Some of you in the audience might be familiar with a malware called Poison Ivy. It's a malware that has been out there since 2006. 2011, an attack on RSA security. First attack, 0-day. Second stage of the attack is a variant of Poison Ivy. 2013, FireEye still releases special indicators for Poison Ivy. We have been able to take a variant from 2008, put it into our machine. After a few hours, get tens of thousands of new variations that actually appeared in 2011 and 12. And using that beta detectors, it could catch any variant of Poison Ivy from 2006, 2013. Siemens VC just invested in the company, and one of the ways we convinced them to do it is that we showed them that using data that was available in 2008, it would prevent Stuxnet. So this kind of example, we can share more examples, but and all this is a very, very low false positive rate. So I think we have some good track record on that as well.
Okay, so Liran, I understand you are now at beta phase or so, right, with different customers. What customers typically compare you against? Because again, it's a unique approach, but dealing with a known problem, dealing with malware. So
yeah,
how do they compare and contrast it, basically?
I think our go-to-market is maybe a little bit different. What we have is a platform technology. It is we can easily port it from Windows to Linux, from industrial environments to enterprise. And the way we go to market is the enterprise security market. We work with existing security vendors to embed this as a capability. I will give one example. We have a partnership. Journalists in the audience or not?
Sorry?
If there are any journalists in the audience, so please don't quote, because it's not public yet. But we have a partnership with Oracle.
Everyone signed the virtual NDA,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So we have a partnership with Oracle, and our goal is to have partnership with more vendors to deploy our technology on their existing enterprise security systems. And the market where we go more directly is utilities, ICS, vendors like Siemens, GE, etc. And there I think that it is true that we are solving a known problem, but I don't think there are today good technology for detection and prevention of attacks on the ICS field, and there it's a very blue ocean for us, and the fact that Siemens backed the company is a great sign of trust for us.
Okay, so basically I understand you are doing both OEM to the enterprise market, let's say via Oracle and maybe others, and going more direct with the
exactly.
collaboration with Siemens and the like.
Exactly.
To the energy sector, critical infrastructure sector.
Yeah. So we are now a year up, scaled from 2 to 17, and with 3 channels in the style of Oracle and Siemens. So. Okay.
And kind of basically what's next on your horizon? Again, started about a year and a half ago, seems to be growing, at least getting to market pretty fast with good funding so far. So what's next?
Yeah, so we are now about to open our US office and at the same time raising our next round. So as I said, JVP and Siemens are already invested in the company. Our goal is to have more investors, both strategics and local US VCs join the round. Should happen in the next few months. And we're going to use those funds to scale up both the sales in the existing channels, but also to build a few more channels like what we have right now.
Okay, so today at the conference, right, there are, again, investors, customers, partners, potentially. I mean, any specific ask that you have for the team here in terms of what you want from them? What kind of dialogues you are looking to have?
Yeah, so I think that I will start with the customers because they are more important, no offense. We are looking for good design partners. So both companies like Cisco and Checkpoint, or companies like Siemens, etc. That's one. And customers, they will be early adopters for these kinds of systems, right? So for example, if you bought an Oracle appliance lately, then you might be a very good early adopter for our systems that you can deploy on that. So that's one thing. And for investors, we look for investors that will have a strategic value in opening the US market, as well as strategic for the ICS utility market.
Okay. So again, definitely out of the box thinking is very exciting type of technology. I think we have probably a minute. Any questions from anyone about the technology, where they are going?
Yeah.
You mentioned Poison Ivy and that being used at RSA. As far as I read, I think it was a variant of Adobe Flash that they leveraged in that. And what they did was, if you would have launched it from the desktop, they would have stopped it. The vulnerability was they launched it from within Excel. And that was the vulnerability. That is the reason why it was not caught. As
far as I know, and so it is true, the Flash vulnerability was a 0-day vulnerability. The way we inspect, and I didn't tell that, but we build our model over the system calls API, calls the behavior. So I think that it would be, for us, it would be the same. We'll catch that.
Catch that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Great. Liran,
Okay,
thanks
thank you
a lot.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.